Good morning, everybody. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream. Hopefully, I do not have a coughing fit. We'll see if anybody's out there. If you're out there, let me know in the chat on the right-hand side of your screen. And why not give it a thumbs up? Just, get the admin out of the way before we get started. Everything's in reverse. The screen has mirrored for some reason. Hey, Chris is here a tad bit early. Don't forget to like the live. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for helping with the admin duties. Yeah, I popped on a little bit earlier because I'm a little bit rusty and I forget how to do all this. So, hi, Katie B. Thanks for joining. So, yeah, I thought I would just get on early and give people an opportunity to get their heads around, logging into a live stream and the same for me. Hi, Jack. Howdy. What time is it where you guys are at? Let me know. It's 9:30 a.m. on Sunday morning here. So a random time to do a live, but I was up early and I was thinking about videos to film and I thought I love a Sunday chat. So why not do it? Why are you ignoring me? What do you mean, Connor? Where are you? Are you sending me messages on Instagram? Oh, there he is. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what you're trying to say, Connor. Chunky Shoes UK. Hey, it's almost bedtime in the UK. Okay. Yeah, it's 5:30 p.m. in the States. Connor, you got out of bed on the wrong side. I picked Connor up. I've got a vlog going live maybe tomorrow, and I picked him up to go to the rubbish dump with me yesterday, and let's just say he was as helpful as he looks like he would be. Oh dear. Welcome everyone. Again, just a reminder, let me know if you're here by commenting in the chat on the side and also giving this video a thumbs up just underneath the video. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, let me know where you're coming from and what time it is there. Moldale, looking lovely, Dale. Hey everyone. Well, thanks, love. Yeah, I just washed my hair. It's I can't believe how much it grew while I was on holidays. I think the Mediterranean sunshine did something fabulous for my hair because it's really, really come along. Let me know, those of you who are here as well, if you happen to catch Amelia Rose's video today, where she talks about wearing luxury at work. I actually had a little cameo on that video. She contacted me and said, hey, would you be interested in recording a little segment for my video, responding to all the comments on her original video, which of course I was, and I've just been reading through some of those comments, and it's great to see as much energy from people wanting to wear luxury at work as, I guess the reluctance to wear luxury at work because of bad experiences and, it just not being worth it for some people. So if you watched that video, let me know in the comments. Jack watched it. Fantastic. Jack wears dresses at the office where everyone wears boring business clothes. Yeah, I think especially post-COVID, there's been some changes in workplace culture for sure. I think people are a little bit more casual in the workplace than what we used to be. We're used to seeing people differently. So I think it's great that you feel comfortable to be yourself at work, Jack. That's fantastic. Chris says he's not spending money to not wear my stuff. I wear luxury even to walk my dogs and take out the trash. Yep. Good for you, Chris. I love it. I think, for me, it's just another thing. It's a more expensive thing, but it's another thing. And people who know, and they know either because they covered it, because they, they're exposed to it in some way, and then they have thoughts about it, whether or not they like it or dislike it. And so For me, spoiler alert, my tips are if people ask you about it, engage with them. Typically, they have a secret luxury fetish as well. And they've just got nobody to talk to about it. And it's kind of a test like, how do you handle it? And if you start chatting to people about it, you tend to find they've got a lot to share on these topics. So I certainly do. Or just a normal fetish. Yeah, no, maybe don't talk about your normal fetishes at work, Connor. You always take it there. I bet you're still in bed. What time is it? Yeah, I bet you are still in bed. Hi, Kaylee. A guy at work gave me shit over a speedy 25 after everyone celebrated him buying a new car and a house. The nerve. What did you say, Katie? What did you say? That's just, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The list goes on. I was at an open home yesterday and the wardrobe was huge. And I made a quip to Mr. Addiction saying, I don't know where you're going to put your clothes. And there were other people at the open home saying, are you serious? And I'm like, yes, I'm very serious. And the look that they gave me was just like, they were just horrified. Like, how could you have enough to fill up this wardrobe? And maybe I wouldn't now, but I'd certainly be working on it in the future. Good for you, Katie. I love that response. Yep, your money's your business. And then message him privately. Take the upper hand. Be the bigger person. Tell him how inappropriate it was. Fantastic. Kaylee wants to know if I've been using all the new bags I got. Look, I've tried to. There's not one that I haven't taken out yet, Kaylee, but to be honest, it's been really hard because I've just been head down, bum up at work. And I've been sick, so my opportunities to carry my bags have been limited, but I have certainly made sure that all the new pieces have been out and about for sure. All right. So we might get into today's topic. I don't want to be here all day, but, let's have a bit of a chat for around an hour. So this topic came from a comment on my unboxing for the Fendi mini baguette in the new season raspberry colour. Katie, I've got to double up on my bags. Yes. And the comment, it's really hard because YouTube keeps scrambling people's usernames. But the comment says, I've wondered, let me give you context. I unboxed the Fendi mini baguette and I mentioned all the other people who had bought pieces in fuchsia from this current drop that I knew of. And I mentioned all of their unboxings in the video. And so that's, I guess, the context around why this comment. I've wondered, are you ladies unconsciously in competition with each other or feel the need to keep up with each other with buying luxury handbags? Do some of you content creators buy bags to attempt to stay ahead of what the others have or buy? Just wondering how much influence or pressure you may feel, if any, to keep up with your peers. How much impact or influence do you all have on each other? And so initially I responded saying, if it's unconscious, how would we know? But great topic for a video. So I guess one thing that I want to know from you guys that are here on the chat, what do you think when you think about content creators as a consumer of content? Do you think that we are consciously or unconsciously influenced by each other? Or do you think we are in competition with each other? What's the vibe that you get? And you don't have to name names or anything, more so when you see people unbox very similar items and, refer to each other. What's your perception, I suppose? Because I'd like to understand what your perception is as a viewer first before I respond as a content creator, because I'm also a viewer of YouTube as well. I'm obsessed with you, the orange slice and metal straw. Yeah, look, you got to have a little bit of extra. I hate drinking water, so anything I can do to make it interesting, I do. I do. Okay, so Jack said she watches everyone and she's influenced by video topics. What about for others? Whilst you are popping in your responses, here we go. Katie, I don't see competition going on, but can definitely tell you'll hype each other up. I don't perceive that as a bad thing, as long as everyone's minding their finances and not feeling pressure. Chunky Shoes UK, I think it's a bit of both, waiting to see everyone unbox all their Chanel star bags. Yep. I don't compete, but I also think that as a man, I'm absolved of societal pressure to buy handbags. I do get influenced to check brands out, but not usually enough to push me to buy, especially a bag. Yeah, good point, Chris. Mal, I'm totally influenced by you and your friends, Dale. I bought my first Fendi bag today. Yay! Congratulations, Mal. Thanks to those who've contributed comments there. So, unconsciously in competition with each other. For me, I think you can tell by my collection. Which way? That way? Yeah, everything's kind of opposite on the screen. There's no competition for me, and I've constantly reflected in relation to my channel growth and the people who are here at my channel is that I'm not buying what everyone else is buying. And that's just because I like different things. I'm not thinking about resale. I'm not thinking about the latest Chanel collection, even though I'm starting to see it all over my social media. I'm just in a world of my own. So in terms of competition for me, it doesn't exist in terms of what I'm buying. I think certainly if I reflect on the 25th anniversary of the Fendi baguette, I think there was a bit of competition happening, and I'm not going to say amongst content creators, but certainly the shortage of supply here in Australia, and I know that wasn't the case across the world, really meant that your network was super important. And some people kind of held on to their network really closely and didn't share it with anybody until they confirmed that they were actually going to get what they wanted from that collection. And that's the first time I saw things get a little bit competitive, I suppose. But typically for me, I'm not involved in some of those super hyped, really popular collections. So I don't feel that personally. I'm just looking. Oh, hi, Jeanette's here. Kaylee says, with all the meetups a lot of luxury YouTubers are doing, I don't think there's competition. I actually think on the competition point, anyone here grow up with a little sister? Anyone find their little sister like super irritating, wanting to wear all the same clothes that they wore, especially as you were in your tween years and into teenage years, hanging out with your friends? How annoying that was. Well, fast forward 20 years later, it's one of the things I love the most about the luxury community and YouTube. For me personally, it actually brings people closer. The fact that we have similar interests, the fact that we admire each other's collections or how we style things, and it gives us inspiration as to how we might integrate those things into our wardrobes, or how we might kind of step outside of our comfort zone. I actually think it's the opposite. It actually brings people closer, and it's so weird that something that would create such a great divide in your early years is actually having the opposite impact later in my life. That's my experience. Sasha, I think everyone genuinely loves the items they buy for themselves and not trying to keep up with others. Influenced by others, of course, to some extent, but that's why we consume the content. Yes, absolutely. I think one of the big things where I could say I'm influenced by luxury content creators is that what our merchandising teams here at Luxury Boutiques purchase for the Australian market is very limited. And obviously, we get to see what's happening in the broader world. I can see a broader range of product. And then I can use my global sourcing team, my extraordinarily large network now, to try and find those things, because our local stores here just don't have the capacity to source them because the merchandising teams haven't purchased that stock for our region. Jack buys what she loves and likes, Chanel perfume. Learning about how you guys don't get stuff is fascinating. You're right next to Asia. I know, Jack. I know. You would think. And even the Asia exclusives, it really annoys us because we're like, we're right here. And the reality is, a lot of our luxury sales associates will usually have a second language because we have a lot of visitors from Asia. And that's a necessary requirement for a lot of luxury stores, is to be able to converse, fluently with a lot of the customers that come to Australia as tourists. And therefore, a lot of those sales associates have network in Asian countries. And if you're lucky, they can leverage that network to help you get pieces that you might not otherwise be able to get. So, yeah, it feels very odd, and I wonder why stores don't use their e-com better to service the needs of their worldwide community instead of deciding what we should be able to access. Chris says, I suppose someone could be competing with me, but I'm not aware of it. Yeah, and I guess that's all about your frame of mind, isn't it, Chris? Like, I will sometimes get comments from people who get angry on my behalf, that people might have purchased the same item that I have, whether they be a content creator or an Instagrammer. And I can see where they're coming from, because they're saying, well, this is obviously you and your aesthetic, and it's obvious that you would buy this, but not obvious that that person would buy it. I don't tend to get angry about it. Maybe I would get angry about it if I really wanted it and I couldn't get it. But yeah, I'm just like, it's more when there's, I suppose it's not acknowledged, that it could, potentially rub you up the wrong way. Connor says, I think there are some in competition and some are trailblazers. Tell me more, Connor. Tell me more. What do you think about that? As in, some people, I rarely see our good friend Cassie Thorpe refer to other YouTubers, or other influencers. I would say that she's a trailblazer. I think I'm not alone in saying that when I see her unbox things, I can tell everything she buys, it fits into her uniform, as she calls it. But they're not things that other people would buy. But people still really enjoy her content because of how she pulls together her looks, her character, her style. It's absolutely her, and it fits and it makes sense. And from an influencer perspective, she's not, I'm sure, selling a whole bunch of things that she's bought. I'm sure there's not a lot of people out there buying what Cassie's buying. Pardon me, I'm going to cough. But I think that she still inspires people to look outside of their comfort zone and to look at how they can bring different things into their collection. So I would say she's absolutely a trailblazer. She's in a league of her own, and that's why she's been so successful. Thank you, Tracy. The Tiffany baguette thing was a competition just to get it. I think you're right, Jack. Absolutely. I think that was one of those ones where you could only be offered through Tiffany or through your store, or you had to know someone, and then you had to have the money. Like, all I wanted with the little Pico baguette, that was like $3,500 for that thing. And I just said no at the end of the day. I'm like, no, that's not happening. And yes, I have spent ridiculous money on other ridiculous things. I know that too. But that was not one I was prepared to do so on. Jack says, with the Hermes thing, Meredith had a VIP appointment. Those don't just happen. But they don't know her purchase history. That history is a tool so the SA can help curate the collection. Yeah, Jack, it was interesting, the Hermes thing. They explained to us that they don't take profiles because it affects people's access to quota bags. And so they purposefully start new profiles for customers when they shop there, which, I don't know if that's the case for everybody, but that's what we were told. And, Meredith was prepared by her sales associate to share what she had so that she could engage in a conversation around, well, here's what I have, as in, I'm a loyal customer, and I have quite a substantial collection, and here's what I'm looking for in this appointment. It wasn't a welcome conversation. It wasn't something that was, it felt like there was time for, or that, she was interested in. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. Hi, Craig. Craig's here. I don't think Cassie watches other YouTubers. Yeah, well, look, she's on my subscriber list, and that shocked the hell out of me. But I don't know if she watches. She doesn't comment. I think when you get to that point, it would be very difficult for you to just have your own opinion, especially when YouTube is your your income and of undertone to those relationships, and I respect that as well. So yeah, I don't know if it's that they don't watch. I just don't think I don't the bigger YouTubers are as engaged in the conversation, as, typical people who consume content. And, smaller YouTubers, we do it. We know how much it means to us when people give us a thumbs up and, write a comment and show us that they are interested, or talk to, because we're small and we want to grow. We want to know people are out there. You don't just want, an echo chamber of your own voice going, oh, I don't know what anyone thinks. I think when you get bigger, you probably need less affirmation from your viewers, perhaps because the views and the subscribers will tell the story more so than the comments. Yeah, big baguette is a trailblazer. That's right, Katie. Yeah. And it's so funny that people were so upset with him for buying that. Like, oh my God, I'm so disappointed that you bought that bag. I'm like, why would you be disappointed? He's clearly happy about it. I remember when he told me that he had asked for it to be ordered in. I was so excited and pleased for him, because I know how much he thinks about things. He is not an impulsive shopper. And the fact that he had sat with that for quite a while and then said, you know what, I want it, it's time, I'm excited. Yeah, I was really chuffed that he did. So it's way better than the Humphrey Bee Bear bag that I was trying to get him to buy. Okay. Slightly neurotic. Dale, I'm obsessed with your straw Gucci bag for ages. Can you tell me if the texture is rough or coated? It's coated. It's coated and yeah, and hard. Like it's got a resin coating over it. Jack says, I will admit I'm looking at wicker bags more because of you, Dale. Yeah, sorry about that, Jack. Oh, hey, Deb. Deb's here too. Yeah, look, it is definitely an area on YouTube that I think that I have a bit of a niche in. And, I'm lucky I have the climate that supports me being able to wear those bags on the regular. And yeah, I really enjoy them. I'd love to get one that's big enough for work eventually, but we'll see, because they take a bit of space to store them. So did you highlight your hair? No. So my hair looks this bright, Kaylee, because normally I put a toner over it, and the toner has worn off. And if you look carefully, you can see all of my grey hairs coming through, hence the different part. So I've got a hair appointment on Thursday. But yeah, this is what it looks like when it's not toned. And this is the thing, I don't know, slightly off topic, but we'll go there. When you're about to go for your maintenance hair appointment, do you suddenly look in the mirror and go, I don't think I need to go. I think I really like how my hair is looking. And then you go into your new hair appointment thinking that you don't need to have one. Does anyone else have that situation? I have it all the time. All the time. Liv's here. Katie wants to be at. Why would anyone be mad? I think, look, maybe, Katie, it's a reflection of what's happening in people's lives as a result of the current economic circumstances, and they're just projecting, irresponsible spending decisions. But I mean, luxury content is not something that you want to watch if you're not feeling great about your own financial decisions, because you'll just be very depressed if you watch what people spend money on in this community and you've got your own challenges. Meredith's here. I'm late. Did we decide we're all just following each other, or just gently influenced by our friends? Well, I don't think we've decided yet, Meredith, but where we're at is I was saying that when I was younger, it used to irritate me if my sister was copying me or my friends. And I remember looking around at all my friends in the 90s, and we were all wearing Doc Marten 8-hole boots, and we were all wearing like little twin sets, and we were all wearing our preppy school bags, and there was a uniform. And if you look in any shopping mall today, you will see the same thing, particularly from women, and boys do too. Even looking around Brisbane, the corporate sector, people have a uniform, they look the same. So I think it exists anywhere, but how we feel about it changes as we get older. As I was younger, I wanted to be unique, I wanted to be different, I wanted my sister to not copy me. Now, if I have similar interests and I like similar things, I find it brings me closer with people. We have shared interests, we enjoy sharing styling tips and, you know, where we can find these things, and we help each other source them. We don't just keep it all secret and tight. So I don't think we've decided. Slightly neurotic says getting upset over a stranger buying a particular bag is dumb. What difference does it make? Look, I do think that there are some Karens on the internet that like to belittle you and your interests and school you about your spending habits and your experience in the world. And, you know, thanks for your engagement, Karen. But yeah, it's not necessary. It would be like me going up to someone in the street saying, "Did you look in the mirror before you left the house today?" Because that does not work. Like, it's not helpful at all. There's nothing anyone can do about it, and it just makes them feel terrible. So yeah, it's crazy. Hella Barbara Rank. Hi, Dale. I love how charming, funny, and eloquent you are. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Keep the great vids coming. Thanks very much. That's lovely. Eloquent's not a word that's often used for me, but I'll take it. I think that's lovely. I'll put that on my resume. You ever come out from a hair appointment and realize you look like a caveman before? I've thought I looked fine until I looked presentable. Oh, Chris, that's hilarious. Not a caveman, or maybe out of other appointments, but not a hair appointment. Yeah, Jack says internet culture where people say things in comments they don't in person. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a reality. And in a niche community like this, we're always going to find people who enjoy, you know, taking the piss or tearing people down. And, you know, once you've experienced it a few times, you start to see the funny side of it. Nora says she has that situation with her maintenance hair appointments, but if I put it off an extra week, I look like a scary swamp creature. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, can relate. I think that's why we set our appointments in advance, Nora. We go, whether it's your 5 weeks, your 6 weeks, or you're even more frequent, just go. You won't regret the hair appointment that you go to, but you always regret the one that you miss or that you put off. Jack, shopping is difficult. I travelled a few thousand miles over the last 3 weeks, and all the shops are the same over 5 states. It's hard to be unique. Oh, you're so right, Jack. After having travelled all over Europe, I was so sick of seeing Fendi's current collection. I really was. For some reason, I thought that I would see different pieces in different countries, because certainly that's my experience when I browse on the web. But that's no, all the stores had the same. And when I met with sales, I asked everywhere and no one had it. So you're right, everything does look the same. And it is really hard to be unique. Craig, the last 3 selfies I've posted on Instagram, I've gotten DMs for weight loss. I was pissed to say the least. You're kidding. As in what, that you need to or that you have? In any case, shocking. I hate when people comment on weight. Obviously, I've been on the receiving end of people having conversations about my weight. Jack, the last time I was in Italy, I didn't see the knockoffs, so I was shocked. Yeah, well, I saw knockoffs in, oh, where were they? Where were the knockoffs? I can't even remember. Oh, Napoli. Like there were fake everything in Naples. But it wasn't pushed. There was no pushing like I can remember there used to be pushing, like bringing you in, and there was none of that. It was just very passive. But like so many fake sneakers, insane. Like I would never have thought that you could get caught out buying fake Nikes and fake Adidas and fake Converse. Like, and they were obviously fake too. Yes, my lilac peekaboo is starting to smile, Connor. You see, I changed my what do you call it? My rickety old rack that people judge me for, so that it had less on it. You need to lose like, oh, Craig, I'm sure. I hope you told them where to go. Katie, listen, don't get into that conversation with Connor. It will not stop. It will not stop. Oh, good night, Linda. Sorry, your internet's no good. Coco K says Tom Holland once said something like, if I don't have your phone number, then your opinions don't affect me. I love that. That's a great idea. As in, if you're not in my, let me go back to this comment and some of the notes. Do we need to stay ahead of others? And back to Jack's comment before around waiting to see all the Chanel unboxings. Do you think that there's going to be a rush to unbox first? And does it matter if you unbox first or you unbox later on? Is that going to affect your views? From someone that has zero strategy when it comes to posting, I'm interested to know what you think about that. As a viewer, are you happy to watch every Chanel star bag unboxing? Or will you be over it after you've seen a couple? Is it more about the person that you're watching and why they've bought what they've bought and how they're going to style it? Or is it about the collection itself and being able to see more of it, I guess, on YouTube than what you might be able to see in the boutique yourself? Yeah, thanks, Jack. So with the prices lately, the LV denim collection, you love it, but can't afford, but you'll watch everyone's unboxing. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of this community is that you can vicariously enjoy other people's experiences without having to have money leave your credit card. And certainly I met some people a couple of weeks ago that work with my husband, and they were having a conversation. One of them was a subscriber of my channel, and another woman was saying to her, what do you get out of it? Like, what's the draw card to watching people unbox, like open packages? And she said, I don't know, I just really enjoy the anticipation. I enjoy seeing what they've chosen, why they've chosen it. It's like a little dopamine hit, and then you just get on with the rest of your day and your bank balance is still looking good and you've still had the enjoyment vicariously through somebody else that you perhaps enjoy watching. So I do understand that. I never watched a lot of YouTube for that reason before I started my channel. I was pretty much using it just for seeing collections and seeing comparisons and things. Yeah, so I wasn't one of. I always wanted to be a participant, not a member of the audience. Yeah, I'm with you, Katie. Exactly. Jack, if you're just a watcher for the newest content, that's a fair weather viewer. I want the viewer that stays with me and engages even passively. Yeah, yep. Yeah. Winnie B's here. Hi, Winnie. Yeah, so I do I think that was one of the other comments that I had here to that point, Jack, is that how much influence or pressure do I feel to keep up? And I've mentioned it before, and it's not a woe is me thing. It's just a comment that sometimes I feel like my channel would do better with more unboxings and more popular items. But then I've got like emoji. Like, I'd never started this channel to be indomitable influencer or content creator. But obviously, it is nice to get feedback that you are appealing to people, and that people want to watch your content. And it is challenging to see your analytics unless you just do not, they push them at you all the time, so you can't even ignore them, and see that despite the effort that you put in and the time, it's not as appealing to people as the regular things, which are unboxing Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, a little bit Dior, in the luxury sphere. Like, that's the guaranteed formula for success. And if you're not going to do that on the regular, then you are going to grow more slowly. And there's no point, in my view, going out and buying stuff for content, because the money you make on YouTube will never repay you in terms of what you spend to get those views. It just doesn't even compare. It's like getting addicted to the pokies. It's everyone talks about when they have a win, but nobody ever talks about all the losses. And if you're a luxury YouTuber buying for content, you're losing every single time you buy. You just cannot cover it. Not even the people with lots and lots of subscribers. So yeah, I think when you put a rational edge on that, it just makes no sense. But it's still something that I think about, and I just have to constantly accept that that's not my game. That's not what I'm here for, and I don't have the capacity to buy on that level. And I buy a lot, and I know I buy a lot compared to a lot of people, and that's not lost on me either. But if I was feeling competitive and that was my version of success on this channel, then yeah, I think I would be doing a lot more to try and keep up with the Joneses. But that's just not what I bring to YouTube. Let me look at some more comments here. Have I decorated my tree yet? Absolutely not, Jeanette. The Grinch in me says it is not time to put the tree up until at least the 1st of December, if at all. Okay, great question from Chunky Shoes UK. If you bought the bag after the trend had passed, would you still want to film an unboxing? Yeah, and I've done that on many occasions. I think my Chanel sandbag here, I bought that really late. Which one? This one? This Gucci bag? I bought that like a few years after it opened, been released. Like, I am someone, like, if I can find it, I'm still going to share it. And I actually think it makes it more interesting because you've sat on it for a while. You might have passed on the first release because you didn't have the money or you had other priorities. And it's sat with you. And I think the story of why you've re-engaged with an old collection or you're late to the party is probably more interesting than just buying something that's fresh on the shelf. Craig, I began watching Dale on video 1 and I've loved every video since because you stand out from the pack because you're just who you are, done but undone. Oh, Craig, thank you. Those early videos were so shocking, but I'm glad that you've seen them all. Someone commented on my first video the other day and I was mortified. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it's been a growth journey. Yes, Winnie, thank you. 1st of December for the trees. We're aligned there. Jack, AdSense money does not pay for YouTube. It sponsors, which is why YouTube sometimes feels commercial. And you know what? Sponsors don't pay that much either, Jack. Like, when I was consulting, I would look at what a sponsor would pay for compared to the time that you put into something. And I'm just like, oh, that's ordinary. Like, at least Zoomoni have affiliate payments now. And I think if like 86 people use my Zoomoni discount code, maybe I get close to 90 Australian dollars for my what do you call it, my cut. So if the average organizer is like $50, maybe I get 90 cents, or something like that. Like, it's not even the affiliate codes are not a lot of money, and I can't be bothered. I don't have the time for it, so I just don't think the payback is there. It's nice to get free stuff. Like, Edwina, my dog, she got her first collab, and keep an eye out for that one. She got a harness and a leash. That was pretty cool, and I thought that was fun because it was a bit different. But it's just free stuff, and when you get a fee, I don't think the fee's worth it compared to what I used to charge as a consultant. Like, for the time, I'd prefer to just watch TV, to be honest. I think it's lovely. You can connect with people all over the world in a shared love of luxury or a shared love for a particular color, like the Fendi pink. Thank you, Liv. Yeah, I do too. I actually think the really special thing about that thumbnail that I put together for this live is that it was like the thing that connected all of us that got together. Not everybody, but we all were there at that point in time. And I think that will forever kind of be with us, that it was that full winter season and that pink that drew us all in, even those who don't normally buy pink. And whether we bought it at the time when we were together or after we left, it's the thing that will constantly remind us of the fact that we all had that time together, which I think is really special. How do you like your love bracelet, Gorgeous 79? I love it. I love it. I don't even know it's there. So yeah, it's just always there. I'm glad I got it bigger. A lot of people suggest you to keep it quite slim. I like it bigger, and I would recommend everybody gets it bigger. Winnie, people want unboxings. Any other video gets dismal views. I've started before loads of people and do not have near the subs. I'm okay with it. I enjoy doing it. You're right, Winnie. Yeah, it's it's hard because sometimes there's a part of me that, and this, when you plan a video, when you actually make like content, so you've got a concept or idea, you unpack that idea and you come up with your arguments and your points you want to raise. You do the research, you find pictures so that when you can edit your video, you insert them as cutaways so that you give people the opportunity to see what you're talking about. Those videos, I call them content because you have created it from the beginning. It's not, here's something I bought. And you can put all that time into it. And you're right, the views won't reflect the effort. Yet you can just do what I did yesterday and my video that's out today, and I can open a bunch of stuff and go, look at this. And even though I do mod shots and cutaways and whatever, it's a really quick video for me to make. And so my return on the time that I put into that is higher compared to something that I've actually researched and, done a lot of work on. So yeah, I think sometimes you've got to be content with the fact that you might delve into those topics because it adds, it rounds out your channel, who you are, and gives a bit of context to you as a content creator. But yeah, it can be heartbreaking when those videos don't do very well. My subscriber unboxings have started to tank now, and I'm wondering whether or not I keep doing them because they take